Trump administration starts Remain in Mexico policy in El Paso, Texas. The Department of Homeland Security began rolling out in El Paso, Texas, Wednesday its policy of requiring asylum seekers to stay in Mexico while they await court hearings in their cases, NBC News has learned. A DHS official, who spoke on condition of anonymity, said people subject to the policy, called Migrant Protection Protocols by the Trump administration, will be required to remain in Mexico beginning later this week. The policy began in January at the San Isidro port of entry in San Diego, where migrants were told to wait in Tijuana, Mexico, while their asylum requests were processed. The waits are now imposed on migrants trying to cross anywhere in the San Diego sector of the California-Mexico border. The administration has been trying to slash the number of people who cross the border at ports of entry or who enter the U.S. without legal documentation and request asylum. Asylum cases can take months or years to complete. Previously, the administration is necessary to protect migrants from danger and end exploitation of immigration laws. It is also designed, Mexico, for the chance to formally request asylum because of violence, crowded encampments, and vulnerability to local gangs, NBC News reported. Some are concerned the same situation awaits those wanting to enter El Paso from Ciudad Juarez, Mexico, the city just across the border. The administration plan drew an angry rebuke from U.S. Republic. Veronica Escobar, with children who come alone to the border are excluded from the Remain. The expansion comes as El Paso experiences a rise in the number of people stopped for trying to enter the U.S. without proper documentation. The apprehended on Tuesday, so many people were released by government officials. The El Paso City County Office of Emergency Management readied a local recreation center to house about 150 individuals. In the end, Annunciation House, which has been sheltering many of the migrants, found them hotel rooms. But on Wednesday, more migrants were being released. Ruben Garcia, many of these people, if they are unable to get on a bus departing the day of their release, will stay at Annunciation House until they can, usually not more than 2 or 3 days later. Annunciation House operates solely on donations and has spent about $1 million on hotels over time, he said. The Border Patrol said in a statement Tuesday that it has averaged about 570 apprehensions a day over the last 30 days in its El Paso sector, and that 90% of the apprehensions in that period occurred in the El Paso metropolitan area. The El Paso sector is 125,500 square miles that includes all of New Mexico, and the 2 westernmost counties in Texas, El Paso and Hudspeth. The sector consists. On Tuesday, Customs and Border Protection said it apprehended 2 groups of 446 people total in El Paso within a span of 5 minutes in the early morning. Agents encountered the first group near tall steel fencing along the U.S. side of the border and just west of Bowie High School, which is less than a mile from the Rio Grande International boundary, CBP said. They were discovered. Then at 2:50 a.m., agents encountered a second group of 252 people, who had crossed the border illegally near downtown El Paso, CBP said. Suzanne Gambo reported from Austin, Texas, and Julia Ainsley from Washington, D.C. Follow on, N.
Raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.